Hey guys, Trudy here from It's a True Story. And today some things have already started cooking for us. That's very exciting. I took a shower, I'm wearing pants, I put on makeup, and a little jewelry. You know what? Because we're coming back to life, and we're not leaving our couches. So hopefully you're catching this when you are in most need of a little inspiration. And by inspiration, like this time I'm not talking about meditating or anything else like that. I got lots of videos like that. If you want to look, please check out the rest of my channel. Today, I decided I was going to do my desert island picks for top movies. And, you know, this is, the way that I'm defining this are the movies that, like, if I got stuck somewhere, like, say, my house, for an unspecified amount of time, like what's happening right now, these are the movies I could watch over and over and over again and not hate it. So, this is my list, and I'm sure there'll be some scrutiny, but I would also love there to be comments about your top 10 desert island picks. The rules are this. I tried to pick something from lots of different genres, so I tried to not do the exact same thing, although there's a little repetition-y feeling, because you can't help that. You like your kind of movies, right? Different directors, and a variety of actors, if at all possible. So that's the only criteria I gave myself, because you know what? Life is hard right now, so you don't want to work that hard. You just want to think about all your favorite movies. So here we go. Topping my list, the one that came up first for me is a Tarantino flick, because he might be my favorite director, I gotta say. You know, all the Kill Bills and all that. But that's not the movie I'm calling. I'm calling it on Pulp Fiction, which was revelatory at the time. And it has John Travolta, who at the time made a crazy comeback as Vincent Vega. Now, if you've never seen Pulp Fiction, I won't give it away by telling you the plot, because I cannot tell you the plot in one sentence. There's no log line for this. But it's all this kind of like loosely driven, everyone's kind of connected to this one mob boss, Marcellus Wallace, and it all unfurls from there. So, Pulp Fiction. Speaking of crime, my next pick is a crime story-ish, but it's also freaking hilarious and also has all the best catchphrases of all times. If you haven't guessed it yet, it is The Big Lebowski. And you know what? That's the movie that ties it all together. It just does. And it has an amazing performance by Jeff Bridges as the dude, and John Goodman as Walter, among others. I mean, Julianne Moore as Maude, she sort of is my spirit animal, so. Anyways, if you haven't seen Lebowski, I don't even know, just stop watching this right now and go, because it's freaking hilarious and genius, and you'll love it. So I guess, so much for my idea of like trying different genres. I guess it's sort of different genres. Like from a more serious end, we have The Godfather, which is literally probably the most classic movie of all times, right? Francis Ford Coppola, and amazing performances by Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. That book I read over and over. Like, I don't know what kid I was. Like, I was really into the mob, I guess. So, Godfather is the ultimate classic. Followed closely by Goodfellas. Now, we have to have Scorsese in there somewhere, and you could put so many of his movies. I mean, King of Comedy is another amazing movie, but we're gonna just stick with Goodfellas because everything about that was amazing, and it's a true story, based on a true story of a man named Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta, and what we love about that movie, besides everything about it, is at the end, no spoilers, the main character is in witness protection, which is what we all feel like we're in right now. So I guess we all can relate to Henry Hill. And although we probably didn't do the things he did to get to the place we're at right now, and hopefully our witness protection where we have to stay inside ends a lot faster than that. Okay, so now we're going to move out of all the crime stuff and into some fantasy. So you guys, Star Wars is my all-time favorite. And I had a little battle with myself. It was. And then it was between the first episode, which is now known as A New Hope, and that was the first episode that really came out in theaters in 1977, and The Empire Strikes Back. Guess which one won? I am going with The Empire Strikes Back, and I'll tell you why. It's because it had the most climactic scene ever of all times, plus it has a really good Yoda sequence. So there is that. So coming out of that, we need a little more comedy to lighten things up. Now, this is where I get maybe a little tiny bit esoteric. I'm a big Monty Python fan, and there's so many ways you could go with Monty Python. Well, there's like 5. Maybe they had 5 movies. But I'm going for A Life of Brian. This is a specific pick to this era and this time. It's blasphemous as hell. But there's a song in there called Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, and I feel like if there's any song you should be humming when you're on a desert island or locked up in your house with all your people for an indefinite amount of time, that would be a very inspiring song to listen to. Here's another from the archives that I don't know if it would be on anybody else's list, but I'm a huge fan of Steve Martin, and his first film, The Jerk, I believe that was his first film, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is, as I recall, hilarious. Does it hold up over time? I'm not even sure, but I feel like I would laugh my ass off every single time. He plays a character named Naven who's very naive, and I will leave it there, but it's really, really funny. So, now we're going to go into a couple of feel-good movies that it's totally emblematic of my generation, which is Gen X. And these are like my calls where I'm like, where's that hard-boiled chick that likes to present this kind of like Pulp Fiction, The Jerk, and where's that hard-boiled chick that likes to present like, Pulp Fiction? Fight Club actually could be on this list. It's maybe number 11, like those kind of movies. But no, we're gonna go the opposite direction all the way back to The Breakfast Club, you guys, because that was like the movie that I feel like kind of defined my generation. And if you're wondering which trope I identify with, like clearly the weirdo, that's Ali Sheedy's character. I think we've all seen The Breakfast Club, but if you haven't, you could watch it over and over and over again and still be totally amused. And it's all about being locked inside for a day and all the things people do to keep themselves amused. So there's some ideas in there, including some bad dancing and fighting. So there's some ideas. And speaking of dancing, if I were on a desert island, I would definitely want to have some entertaining moments. And so Dirty Dancing is the movie pick that's like, that one's throwing me as well. But you know what? They had the time of their lives and they never felt that way before. And then no one puts baby in a corner. There's two things that happen in that movie that just make you stand up and want to say that life's going to be okay. So, and also Patrick Swayze's hips. I mean, come on, you guys. And that scene in the water, there's so many pieces to it. We can't even think about it. The one filmmaker that I definitely wanted to include it, but I was very torn about, and this is my 10th pick, is Steven Spielberg. So I was gonna maybe go for the obvious one, which is E.T., which I feel like encapsulates that whole feeling of like wanting to go home, even though right now we all probably want to get the hell out of our houses and get as far away from our home as possible. But that's not the one I'm gonna go with. I'm actually gonna go with Raiders of the Lost Ark. I feel like that one, like the adventure, the fantasy, the whole Harrison Ford thing, it all just adds up to a nice escape. And that's what we need from the movies, right, you guys? We need an escape right now. We need to go somewhere else for a little while until it's safe to come back out. So those are my top 10 desert island picks. I totally want to know what yours are, so please tell me in the comments. We can hotly debate it, because what else are we doing right now, right? So please like and subscribe, and I'll come up with more ideas for you guys during this time of weirdness. And then when you watch this and it's not the time of weirdness, you can remember the time of weirdness and just be happy that we can go outside. But for now, it's time to stay inside, watch some movies, tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.